Most kind, gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for the day that you've given each and every one of us, Lord. I just pray, God, that you'll be with the business at hand. And Lord, may we always strive to do what's best for the county in which we're all here to serve. And God, there's only one way we come to you. And that's in your Son, Jesus Christ's most precious name. Amen. Amen.
Jeremy, you done do the pledge last time you did it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Here.
Debbie Davis.
Here.
Daniel Deal.
Here.
Dewey Esponine.
Here.
Mark Evans.
Here.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Here.
John Holt Kissinger.
Here.
Samantha Trentham. Here. James Williams.
Here. We have a quorum, the meeting's in session. The only thing we got tonight is the hospital. Bill committee met. Vice Stoneberg attorney. Where we at now with it?
Well, after the building committee met, they decided on moving forward just to see who might be interested in buying a hospital or doing something with it to hopefully, provide some services to the county and some jobs as well. So that's what they're wanting to do is just see what we can, want to throw in some bids and see what we can come up with. And have everybody come back and look at them here whenever we have a set a date for it. And review, see what everybody, any interested parties are, what they want to do. And see if there's one that's worth pursuing. If there's not, then we can try again. All today would be just to see what our options are.
We can deny or accept any and all bids.
Yeah, you don't have to accept any of them if you don't like any of them.
I make a motion to let county attorney proceed.
I second it. Got a motion by Daniel, second by Dewey. Any discussion?
One thing real quick, this motion is to allow the county attorney and county executive to solicit bids, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you talk to them about, the whole issue about what was on the deed?
Well, we're looking into that some more, but again, like I said, what you're voting on tonight wouldn't affect anything with that. So.
Got a question?
In these situations, I'm an outsider, but 3 times Copper Basin Medical Center saved my life. Most recently, January 2016, Dr. Shaw snatched me from the jaws of death. And I'm deadly serious. I was poisoned. There's no way I'm here. This hospital means a great deal to me. I've lived here for 12 years. I have been coming here for 30. I want you to understand they saved my wife's life 3 times. So it's a very serious issue for me.
That's what we're
Normally,
trying to.
normally, coming from outside, the normal procedure is to retain a commercial real estate broker in commercial real estate who is licensed in the state of Tennessee to render an appraisal. That should be our first stop.
We've got
30
plans for
acres of prime real estate in a red-hot real estate market. There are, the numbers I'm hearing, there are houses looking down at Copper Basin Medical Center that are going for more than we're talking about here for the hospital. 30 acres of prime land on 2 major highways.
Well, our problem is though, no matter what it's worth, if we don't get a medical facility back in there,
Well, we
we're not gonna be
can.
any better off.
We can. We have an opportunity to
Well,
do that.
but, yeah, but that's why it doesn't, but what, the value of it versus whatever medical facility that we can get to come in
Well,
is two different things.
that has not been,
Correct?
that has not been established.
No,
Because
but-
the federal government,
Yeah,
the Trump administration, has gone and added several block grants through HHS and Homeland Security and FEMA.
yeah. Well, I
and
feel
they-
like that when this is put out for bid, this should be medical facilities fighting for this instead of a big real estate broker that's just going to want it for the real
You
estate.
have to establish value first. You have.
Yeah, I mean, but
We've got a tax appraisal.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
That'll get you close, though. It'll get you
No,
ballpark.
not unless the person who made the appraisal is a certified commercial realtor, broker, appraiser.
Our property assessor.
No, he isn't. He's a nice guy, but he
Well,
isn't.
But
But,
this is
but
going-
then again,
But
here, if we get
we
three,
do-
three bids from 3 medical facilities, okay? And that's all the bids that we get. I mean, I'm just setting up a scenario. I'm not saying that this has to be the way it is. I'm just saying that if Tenova, Erlanger, Memorial, let's just say, blah, 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 and we get 3 bids from these medical facilities, okay, and nobody else bids on it. If we don't take that highest bid and we say, okay, we're sorry because the real estate man says that this place is worth $5 million more than what you're offering, but he's not a medical facility, but how are we going to get a hospital back in there if we don't take it from the highest hospital people?
With a block grant, we may not have to sell it.
Yeah.
County governments are not in the hospital business.
I agree. It would take creation of a new corporation. Okay, I agree. But one that isn't like the old one. I fought with the hospital administrator. I spent over an hour with her trying to explain to her why it was going to go down the drain, and it did. I do know a little bit about this stuff. Okay?
While
And
this
she
is-
was calling Dr. Siddiqui a liar, and he wasn't lying, and I knew 3 other doctors that had never gotten paid by them.
This is all old news. I mean,
No, I understand that, but what I am saying is, we do not have to sell the hospital.
Well, this not saying we're gonna sell it, it's an option.
What I am saying is, all I am telling you is, you are closing yourself off into a box canyon, deciding precipitously to sell when you don't even know what the realities are of possibly resurrecting it through a new corporation with the help of another hospital partnering with us.
What are you talking about, a new corporation? I mean,
Set up a new board like we used to have.
yeah, okay, so who would pick that board member? You talking about us would pick the board? like we done for.
The mechanics I leave up to you guys. I leave the mechanics up. I'm not,
Mechanics of it is, we all, or three of us, and then everybody else, I'm sure we've done, made our best effort to help the county.
I think you would.
We put the citizens on the hook, the taxpayers, and our job as a commission is two things. One, get the county off the hook, recoup the taxpayers' money, and two, keep providing medical facilities for the east end of the county. And if I see a chance to do that, I'm gonna look into it.
Okay, I spoke to the CEO of Union Generals. He is willing to talk about partnering, resurrecting Copper Basin Medical Center.
I hope he's willing to put in a bid on the hospital.
No, he is not. He has no interest. But he is interested in partnering with us.
Well, why, if we got a chance, if we get the bid, and it's more, or at least gets the county off the hook for what we give for it, and continues being medical.
Because what I'm saying-
why would we not do that?
Well,
It's a
why
surefire
not check into the federal grants that might wipe out your problem?
It might, that's the key word, that's a crapshoot. What we're looking at is for sure a deal. We're gonna get the county out from under it, we're gonna keep providing medical care for these things.
Yes, and you don't know who you're going to get in there. You might get in worse than what you had.
Well, that's why we'll have to see after we get the bid.
These corporations are not nice guys. These corporations are out to make money.
Well, somebody's gotta make money.
Well,
Well, if they buy it, it's gonna be, I mean,
if they buy, we lose all control.
Make money if somebody-
yeah, but what, in my opinion, the county just, I don't really care anything about the county being in the hospital business.
No, I
That's
don't
me.
either.
I mean, that's just me.
I prefer, my suggestion, you're fine to disagree with me, is to set up a public-private corporation separate from the county. Have the public-private corporation buy the hospital from the county and
Every
partner.
time I've ever known about any kind of corporation, somebody gets crooked in there. Somebody gets rich, and then somebody makes a downfall out of that.
Well, John, when did the guy come, Ray Ford from Brim, from Texas?
Back
At
about
what year was that?
08.
Okay, back 08, 09, there's a guy coming here and went talking, smooth talking.
I remember that.
Talked us into, going to United Community Bank, we signed a big loan.
No.
Saying we'd take care of it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. That was a bad deal.
Yeah, but it was a corporation, exactly what you want us to get into.
Yeah, but you backed the corporation, didn't you?
Now, hold on a minute, the company's called Brim, okay, they're gonna come in here, they're gonna make it go flying high. Within a year, they're out, you can't find them nowhere. And now the county had to pay off the loan. My biggest thing, I would love to keep it going. I want a hospital bad. That's my people.
Yeah.
I've had people that go there, I've had people die there, I've had them flew out. I've known people died in the past 2 weeks that could have lived if we'd had it open. My biggest thing is to have it open. Anybody from the East End would love to keep it open.
You wouldn't believe what happened to me
Not
because of
only
it.
that, but other than the school, that was our biggest employer in Polk County. Over 100 jobs gone.
And I knew a lot of them.
And a lot of my family.
Mr. Kimsey, I'm not arguing with any of you here. I understand what you're saying.
I'm not kidding.
What I am I know about all the crooked deals. Dr. Norris walked out of here $750,000 in debt.
Yeah.
He went bankrupt. The hospital owed him over $300,000. I
None of
know.
that. We're not disputing any of that. We're here.
I'm not disputing it either. I'm just saying I'm not a
We've heard all
village idiot.
this time and time.
But what I am saying, if we can retain control, okay, we the people, these corporations, you see what's happening at Fannin? Their doctors are bailing. Newley, Denton, Kim Denton, Ben Harris, they're all leaving and going to Union.
Well, we've got a building committee and we've got a building
Okay.
committee, and
I got what you're
anything we get will be reviewed, looked at, background checks, history of the business, it'll be vetted very well.
Sale of that property, though, I want you just to understand, you're selling a jewel. You're selling something that is worth a great, great deal of money. A lot more than the hospital will ever owe you.
But we're putting
You don't know
on the
what we're
tax-
selling it for, nobody does.
This is the tax roll.
I'm telling you, the 30 acres, call up any commercial real estate broker in this state and ask them about 30 commercial acres with access to 2 4-lane highways, divided highways, and let them tell you.
It can't be commercial, we have no zone in Polk County.
And the problem of it is, it's in Polk County and not Bradley County or McMinn County. It's in Polk County. Nothing we've got's worth a fortune. I'm sorry to say that. I hate to say it. That's the truth.
And you can't market any land around here for commercial real estate.
I mean, it's just,
not
you
nothing
know.
zone commercial. We have no zone.
They can do anything they want with that property once they buy it.
Well, I mean, that's an option. They can come talk to us, we're gonna take
They,
bids.
doesn't mean they're gonna do what they say.
Any more discussion?
I got one, Mr. Chairman. My question is, how are we gonna solicit? Does it go to newspapers, does it go to large cities, Atlanta, Knoxville? What's the process you have to go through that?
Well, run it in the newspaper, and then we'll send notices to all the, area hospitals or any medical groups that's called, and we'll let everybody in the area know.
Well, I think what he's asking, that's a good question. How far out is our reach gonna go?
Yeah.
Is it gonna go like Hamilton County, or is it gonna go all the way to Davidson County? Or other states?
Yeah, we've had groups from other states, we'll send that, express interest, that we'll send it out,
That's one thing people keep asking me, and it's a good question. Are we gonna go to large cities with large hospitals, deep pockets? If they can't buy into it, which we hope they do, you still try. For what it's worth, I've sat back and looked at this for a long time. Has anyone approached a situation of partially working with the Veterans Administration on a satellite facility like McLean County done in Athens? Because I've looked on the maps, you've got Dunwoody, Georgia, you've got Chattanooga, you've got Athens, and I think you've got over toward Bryson City area. It's what you're getting in some clinics for VA. It may be a possibility. I know, I'm like you, we've got to get off the hook on this somehow, some way. I'm just trying to give some ideas.
The block grants, if you look into the block grants that have just come out, there may be something there. Because what he's saying about the VA, I know that. That's a brand new block grant for hospitals that will facilitate the veterans. Yeah, that's brand new this year.
Is that just veterans, or do they?
Well, FEMA has some, HHS has some, the Veterans Department, Veterans Affairs Department, and the DOD all have them. That's what I'm saying, is to throw in the towel without at least investigating what our options are to keep our control of our own hospital. I know we got burned. I know you guys are in the hole. I don't like that any more than any of you do.
Mr. Norwood, the VA avenue, it only applies to operating hospitals, correct? I mean, you have to be operating hospital to
They've got real lenient on that. In the past couple of years, they have actually changed some things in the process. They're really looking at focusing on areas that do not have a medical facility.
Yep.
Where they have a group of veterans. That's why Chattanooga was so swamped. They put me in the Athens VA clinic up where the food line, the IGA and stuff is. They're making satellite clinics to accommodate because they're having to pay travel pay.
but they're working through operating hospitals to do the satellites, right?
They're building. They're building one. The Veterans Administration is actually building a clinic. They may go to Mini Mall and say, we're going to take this part of Mini Mall and make it a satellite clinic for VA. So the thing I'm looking at, it may be an option to help the county because I'm like y'all, we've got to get some relief.
Well, is it somebody that you're saying somebody that can bid on the hospital, or when we take bids, we need to look for somebody to be receptive to working with us?
If possible, if you could, contact VA. I'll do everything. I've got contacts in Washington, some people I can try to get in touch with you or give you their numbers. It's worth a phone call.
But you're talking about soliciting
Correct.
VA for,
If they want to get the facility and make it.
Right,
Yes.
right.
They are trying, as I understand it, they are trying to get indigenous hospitals back and on their feet. And this is one of the programs. They know what Obamacare did.
Right, and Steve, know this, if we, if somebody bids on it and gets awarded the bid that has nothing to do with the Veterans Affairs, is it possible that, I mean, that wouldn't be a deal killer.
What they do now-
Veterans Affairs could work through somebody else too.
If a regular corporation, a hospital, to know somebody come in, a family practice, they could go through the process of the choice program to where veterans like myself, so they're going to Bradley County or Athens, we can choose to go to one in Copper Hill, and you can get enough veterans to keep it viable and keep it open and keep revenue coming in that area.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's the biggest thing that we do is, it may be something we want to add to the pot, is have information about the Veterans Administration Choice Program. We get to pick our providers.
Well, when is the specs ready now?
No, yeah.
Well, when they do, be sure to get one.
I have no problem meeting with somebody about any of this, because
No.
we've got to do something to help our county out.
Yeah, be sure to make that a priority, get one of the Veterans Affairs off.
But also, let me, I'm sorry, 1 second, and ask, now, but like on the block grant that you're talking about, if you went into that and the veterans, took it over for a veterans hospital under the block grant, that wouldn't make it available for other people. So
No,
correct?
That's not the
You're
way it
correct.
works.
You're correct. If it becomes a VA
Yeah.
facility,
Right.
it can only take a
So-
life or death situation. And that's one thing too, make it completely a VA facility. To me, it hinders it because it's only for the veterans.
And we can't have that.
No,
And we're not gonna have
because-
anybody that
That-
wants to
that is
afford
not-
a VA hospital right now, because Bradley County's building the state home,
Yeah,
so it's gonna be fighting against, building that's already gonna be coming up.
but a operator can have a VA satellite.
yeah.
Yes, they can get VA money and run the
They
hospital.
can have the choice program.
Yes.
It's different insurances,
Right.
where they can get veterans, and with that, you can have from Cherokee County, Fannin County, Polk County going, and if people in Bradley County want to, they can drive it, because we get to pick the person we want.
See, a lot of people don't realize that Copper Basin fed people from Culberson, North Carolina, down to Epworth, Georgia, and up to the county line in Coker Creek. You know, this is not just one little tiny town. There were a whole lot of people in 3 states.
Yeah.
And the way things are going with Fannin Regional, dog and cat, I think that they may go under.
We'll continue to look at all your.
That's fine. That's all I ask.
Yeah,
That's all I ask.
Like I said, this is just looking at.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your hospital. I wouldn't be arguing with you if it wasn't for your hospital. And I know that there are good people, there are good doctors here, there are good, hard-working people, and they deserve their own hospital that isn't run by somebody from Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Yeah, but if that place you're talking about from Wisconsin, if they can run a hospital more efficient, I mean, I'm all for, I'm
Well,
the person that's gonna do the best job.
They're running
That's
Fannin Regional more efficient right into the ground. Doctors are fleeing.
Yeah.
Patients
Well, that's
are
a general
fleeing.
rule. I mean, it seems like the more local you stay, usually
Yes.
the better off you
Amen.
are. But,
Amen.
Well, what
I don't
it is,
guess that can always,
it's now the way medical care is,
Yeah.
it is hard to run a small hospital, a standalone hospital.
Right.
If you're not on
If you're not
somebody bigger,
affiliated.
it's finding
HHS
finding
has a
folks,
new
finding
program for it.
physicians, you can't,
No.
I mean, it just ain't feasible anymore.
HHS has a new program trying to save the little hospitals.
Well, why is people just now telling us about this tonight?
Well, we've seen
I mean-
several of those programs.
Yeah, but Brim Healthcare was one of them,
Yeah.
and that's what got us in that $900,000 debt.
I did not know until the Polk County News started publishing again, and I read about it in the newspaper, and I'm here. I'm not on the wrong side of you guys. I'm on your side. But I want, there's a lot of people that are so narrowed in that it's only Copper Basin. It isn't. It is it's the western half of Cherokee County, northern half of Fannin County, and East Polk.
Well, we're not disputing any of that. I mean, we just now up and down.
In fact, I was in the hospital with a man from Tellico Plain.
How much is our opening bid?
May I make a contribution on your due diligence program here? What exactly you have for sale? My name's Lawrence Gale, I'm VCPA in East Polk, I live there, I got skin in the game. Okay, let's look at what you got for sale here. You got 18.85 acres on 3 tracts with a contingent reversionary interest written into that deed.
Yes.
I've not heard an opinion from the county attorney as will that contingent reversionary interest hold or will it fold with the new buyer. Your building, you got a 50,000 square foot building. You got some problems with this. It's not gold. Number one, asbestos. Okay.
Okay.
Has anyone considered if you're going to have a bidder from Erlanger, Tenova, anyone else? Let's say I'm going to buy this place myself. I want to know what's in that building before I send my crews, deploy my crews in there to renovate it. You're going to have to renovate that thing. You can't go in there. You got asbestos, you got mold, you're going to have rats gone on the insulation. On the
That's up to the buyer.
That's up to the buyer. That's what I'm getting to.
Are you here to hurt our county or?
No. Hear me out here. Hear me out here.
I've heard on roll call.
That's fine.
I want a point of order here, I want to hear the exact motion that we're gonna be voting on. We just done, I've never heard the wording of it yet.
My motion was to give the county attorney the power to proceed, or the county executive, however it needs to be, the power to proceed to, solicit bids.
We had a motion by Daniel and a second by you.
What's our opening bid price?
It's open.
So we don't have
It's
a
not been
limit?
open set,
We don't have a
but we do, counties always remain,
Yeah,
keep
we
the
have
power
the right
to
to
refuse
bid,
or reject any and all
we can
offers.
refuse or reject any bid offer.
What is the county's interest? How much is the county on the hook for? Exactly.
600,000 plus.
Yes.
Debbie Davis,
Yes.
Dan Hill,
Yes.
Stevie Esmond,
Yes.
Mark Evans,
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey,
Yes.
John Hope Pittenger,
Yes.
Samantha Trent, James Woody,
Yes.
8 yes, 1 pass.
Motion passes.
I have something to say before you adjourn. Greg, I really think that you need to pipe down when people's trying to talk. They have a right, they came here to talk, and they have a right to talk. You shouldn't be sitting here saying, roll call, when somebody's trying to
I
talk.
done
That's
asked
rude.
for roll call
That is
before he
rude.
started. Well, I guess I'm a rude person, but I
Yes,
asked
you
for roll
are.
call before, he, said anything. And two, I mean, we're trying to get the county off the hook.
You're gonna be called Creole.
And
Give
anything
me
he
some
was
money
saying-
to get you off the hook. Because
anything-
they owe just as much.
But anything he was saying negative about the building, I mean, the buyer.
He was just
they'll
trying to
figure-
explain to you some things that he's done research on. It's respect for people. And he lives on the east end of the county, and he has a right to speak about it.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, I thought it was,
No,
might
he was
potentially
really-
hurt the
he done
sale.
research on
And
it.
I'm here, like I said, I'm here to do what I think's best for the county, and.
Well, you better be finding out about the respect for the people in our community.
I do, I got respect for everybody.
That was not respectful.
Well,
Mr. Chairman, I do have another motion, and it's on this same agenda. I'd like to make a motion that the county attorney and any other attorneys associated with the county on this issue that we give them the power to proceed.
Excuse me, you're gonna have to speak up. You're
All
gonna
right.
say stuff that you're
I
gonna
make a
say.
motion to, allow the county attorney and any other attorneys that we have on this issue, as far as the hospital, to, take any actions to clear up any indiscretions in any deeds, revert clauses, or any other issues that are currently present with our full authority.
Have they been asked, has the mining company been asked?
No.
Revert clause, any legal issue, revert clause, any issue. In other words, if we've got any problems with the deeds, we will go ahead and authorize you to take whatever action you need to clear. Sound good to you?
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion by John, second by Daniel, is there any discussion?
I thought the county had already authorized Jimmy Logan to file a motion in federal court to get rid of that reverse clause.
And that's still part of what's pending now, I think. I don't remember if it was in federal or was it local chancery or?
He's gonna have to petition that federal court.
When, let me ask you this, when these bids go out, will they be, when they go out, will they state in them that when these people place these bids, that the building will be theirs and theirs as is? Then, will that be stated in there? Or will they be allowed to place a bid and then go look at the building and see what they've got to do and then be able to come back and say, whoops, sorry?
Well, they'll be taking everything as is. I'll give them plenty of time to do whatever they need to do before they turn something in. Now, obviously, they can, write up whatever they want.
Right.
So
But yeah, but once they place that bid, then they can't come back and say, okay, you got asbestos here, or you've got a broken pipe here, you've got leaky roof here, we didn't see all that, so now we don't want it for that. Once they place that bid, and if we were to say, we agree with you, we accept your bid, they're in it for that.
I'm
Correct?
sure they'll send the building inspector out before they.
Right, before they go. So the thing about it is, in a little bit of my opinion is, it really is not gonna matter what's wrong with the building or what ain't wrong with the building.
No.
Every who bids on it is gonna send out their building inspector. If they got any sense, I'm not gonna let nobody, if I'm putting in $1 million in something or more, I'm not gonna let no peon of anybody tell me what ain't wrong or what is wrong. I'm gonna send my own people out to inspect this building before I put me a bid out myself. So if you do that, then once they put that bid out, and if we accept it, then we're through with liability. Correct?
Maybe. Can I ask a question? Can the county commission at least, while you're doing that, investigate the federal grants that are available now, the new ones, the United States Veterans Administration, the Homeland Security one through FEMA for underserved medical community, underserved medical areas. They're out there. Maybe that would help. But you're looking at the EPA. I'm a retired postal worker. I know a little bit about that. I spent 18 years in
Well,
the
that's another
facility.
reason why. I mean, I understand everything you're saying, and I understand money-wise, we might could even be better off. But when you do that, then you've got to get another board going on to run this type of stuff. I imagine. I don't know, but I'm assuming you do. And then here we go. So my way of thinking is, I mean, this is me. I can speak for everybody. I'm just saying, let's see what happens with these bids, and let's see what companies, respectable, reputable companies, that we might get a bid, a good, decent bid from. We might not get nothing. We might have to start back into plan A, B, C, and D. But my concern is like the man was getting ready to state, but that's kind of back to the square one where I was at the other night when we were talking about building inspectors. You know, if these people here that's going to bid on it, like I said, they're going to send their own people, which is good, because that's what we want them to do. And then, hopefully, we're off the hook. If we can make a deal, it's their baby. We're free and clear. And then get that thing going
If you can get $600,000 out of the federal government, wouldn't that be even better?
Well, but if they can get it out of
Not if it
it
stays tax exempt.
and get it going,
What's
then
that?
Not if it stays tax exempt.
So the
Of course it's tax exempt.
I said if it stays tax exempt.
Probably it won't.
This prime property that you're talking about.
Yeah.
If it stays under county, it stays tax exempt.
Okay, I'm not a lawyer. You've got a man over there to do that, okay? I'm not a lawyer. All I'm saying is that your problem is $600,000 you need to get rid of, okay? I'm saying we get the grants, you get the grants to pay and go on. Whatever has to be done. That money is there and available. This gentleman here, my name is Walter G. This man here has already said, I know about his program. The federal government knows what happened with Obamacare, and they are trying to help communities like Copper Basin. That's all I'm saying. Now, the legalities, the financial, that gentleman knows his stuff. The asbestos, though, there are several different kinds of asbestos. Some do not need to be removed. Some can be contained. So that is not an absolute. Okay? But you have to get someone who can tell you what you've got. He was right. I haven't heard too many wrong things here tonight. All, you know, what I'm saying is, instead of narrowing in on one approach, kind of do it like Bubba Smith style, tackle the whole team and throw out everybody that doesn't have the ball.
Well, like I
Okay,
said,
Samantha's got a question
this is
here
just
real
an
quick.
option.
So the
I mean,
bids that
it's
we
not-
are
go
taking
ahead.
are gonna be strictly medical facilities, right? Like
Yeah.
their sealed bids, are they just all gonna be from medical facilities that we consider?
Well, it has to be in the bid.
Yeah,
that's what they're-
they'll have to tell what it is they.
That's what I was fixing to ask.
Well, I think it should if we want it to stay a
I
hospital,
mean,
don't
we
you?
want it to stay a hospital, so I think the bid should be strictly from medical facilities.
Well, Dr.
Yeah,
Javelin,
something
Dr.
else, something else
Hewlett,
better
and Dr.
consider.
Sadicki are still there.
You gotta consider too, and it's been delinquent since the hospital closed. You got medical records issues here, and I don't think any of us know anything about what the law is on that.
We've addressed what we can say about that.
Well, nobody's been able to get their records. They're not getting their records like they're supposed to. And HIPAA violation can cost you a lot of money. You can spend some jail time for that.
We're supposed to have somebody over John Hall.
We've got,
Well, nobody's releasing
supposed to be
them.
on
Nobody can get them. Nobody's releasing them, but you have to have those available for 10 years after the facility is closed. And then for 18, under 18, you have to hold those records till they are 18 years old. So that should be in the clause. If a facility comes in, they have to take control of those records. And they're not just hospital records. There's Dr. Norris's records. there's there's all kinds of records up there, cause I work there, I know.
I know you did.
what records were
I was
there.
trying to remember where I remembered you
Are
from.
they still in the facility
They
as far
are
as
still
you
in
know?
the facility, how well they're maintained, I don't know. But I know people have tried to get their mammogram bins, they're not available. They could sue the county right
What
now.
have they been told when they try to get them?
They're not available because they're on the PAX machine and the PAX machines is no longer set up. I mean, that's a big issue
If
out
we-
there. So you need to make sure that clause is in there that they take control of all those records. And
What if we could open up just the emergency room with the federal grant money and pay off the 600,000?
With all due respect, we've addressed everything up to the point of putting this hospital up for bid, soliciting bids, and having the bids come in so we can look at them and try to determine what the best course of action is. Right now, we have a whole separate issue, and that's a motion that's on the floor to allow our county attorney to, and other legal aid to, address any deed issue. What else do I have on that motion? Deed issue, revert clauses, or any other item dealing with the hospital that falls in the legal realm. That's the motion that's on the floor. And we're kind of getting off the topic.
I'm sorry.
I had a motion by John, second by Daniel, roll call.
Greg Brooks,
Yes.
Debbie Davis,
Yes.
Daniel Deal,
Yes.
Dewey Estimate,
Yes.
Mark Evans,
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey,
Yes.
Tony Whitfield,
Yes.
Samantha Travis, and James Woody.
Yes.
9 yes.
Motion passed.
Before you do any closing or anything, until Samantha, Ms. Cunningham, asked that question, I was concerned and wanted to ask the question, is the money, getting it back, is all we were looking for, no matter who bid on it.
Amen.
I think that,
Because if we don't, hey, I know you've heard this 100 times. The men at the company, women that worked there in the 50s, I know I was 10-year-old at the time, donated money to build that hospital. And we kept it up. County spent money. People have spent money. Doctors, private people has given money to run it on. It's mostly what's happened has been poor management all the way through
Amen.
for years. I'm not throwing a stone at Anna because she worked there. She's just part of the life part of it. And I'm not saying, I don't know what went on there, and I'm not accusing her of nothing. But it's just been mismanagement all the way through. But taxpayers in all 3 states, the guys that worked there at that time donated 50 cents a week out of their check for 2 years and paid for that. The company matched what the men put in. That's what put it there. And I sure hate to see it leave.
I think that whatever bids we look at and say, this looks interesting, we're gonna have that company come in and give a presentation of what they plan on doing. We're just not gonna throw it out to them.
Yeah.
We're gonna have them come say,
That's the way
here's,
some of it was sounding a while ago, but I'm sorry for that.
No.
Yes.
No, I mean, because I'm not from that part, but it's
Hey,
Polk
we're one county, we're not two.
Exactly, that's what I
We're
just
one
said.
county.
I said, but
That's
that's
where
where I was
I'm
coming
at,
from.
Mike, and you welcome to come to all,
you know.
we got the building committee and the
Right.
bid
I
open meeting,
understand that.
and we'll check, and take everybody's opinion, about the place. I mean, it'll be a long, it ain't gonna be just like 30 people make here for a bid opening one day at 12. Like,
Yeah.
paint
And say,
the
okay,
building.
here we go.
It won't be nowhere
Yeah.
near that simple, there'll be a process. And
My
everybody-
main concern is getting the county off the hook for the 600,000.
But it
For
won't
over
be
5
like,
years at one time, but.
it won't be like putting the roof on the show barn. That's simple. It'll be,
But there's some kind of the asbestos, or most all of it. It don't bother you until you start working with it.
Yes.
I think it's.
Absolutely.
Unless you get it airborne,
Yeah.
It's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
I worked for 20 years in a building that was full of the stuff that was contained. I have no problem with it.
But it's just what the what the government will make it out to be, though. And
The
what
regulations have changed.
Regulations are what the
Well,
people will.
I'm just assuming if the government had anything to do with the asbestos and they knew it was there 50 years ago or 60 years ago or now, they would have made them had it, they would have took it out.
Well,
Yeah, it would have been gone.
Just done. That
Well,
might
they
be-
did,
it- you know,
they did in the high school,
Yeah,
they did in Copper Basin, well, they actually, the grammar school right now,
yeah.
they took it all out and everybody had to wear their, uniforms, the mask and everything else. I know, I've worked with it for the last,
Yeah.
well, up till we went on strike in
Yeah.
'96.
Yeah. Right.
And, from 1964.
Something that you were talking about as well, I can personally attest, I think everybody on this board knows, the medical facilities that have come to me. And I've got a text message from one of them today, since the board allowed us to move forward. Their concern is to bring medical care, to also to see those that weren't paid. One of them in particular wants to see those people paid back in the community, because they also want to hire those people to work in that facility with whatever it might be. And now that's what they're saying. And it's like two of the other ones that I've talked to have told me, because I said the same thing, you know, look, the miners built and put into this years ago, and they said, Robbie, that's what we're wanting to see. Surely the people would say, if it's not one entity, being the miners, but if we could have a medical facility, surely that's what those people would have wanted for the people on the east side to have. It's some type of medical facility, and also to build off of that. Not, you know, not just coming in with the mindset of, we're gonna bring 2 doctors and that's all we're gonna put up there. They have talked numerous meetings that I've had with them to bring this, and then if that would spin off to more doctors, more treatment, more care to be able to be there.
So what if you don't get a bid that's anywhere close to what the county owns, so you wanna accept that bid?
It depends on if it's enough to offset at least part of what the county's on the hook for, and what it will bring into the county, and the people that live and work over there.
So when we sign that contract, if we was to get a good bid and sign it off, will it state in there that they'll pay those people back? Are we gonna make sure it's in the clause that they have to pay?
It'll be in part of their presentation.
Be in their presentation. It's up, it would be up to whoever turns that in. And here's one other thing, I'm not texting, I'm looking at something, you know, just as the county executive, and I don't wanna tell anybody wrong. 7,000, what is it? It's roughly, the county pays for the insurance on that bill, on the hospital, it's right at $630 a month, every month,
For the insurance.
for the insurance on that building. You know, a lot of people, we talk about what's owed on the one end, but we've got to also realize that there's still things that come in that
Yeah.
are being paid,
Yeah.
that are being took care of by Cole County,
Yeah.
not.
Plus the property tax we're not collecting. What was that, Mark? Your best guess. What that
figured
be?
it on a $5 million appraisal, $65,000. Now, this is the present tax rate. Present tax rate on $5 million appraisal, $65,000 a year to Ducktown and Polk County.
And that's not down as well, because the property assessor had it assessed at $8 million right now.
$8 million, yeah, I just figured it
And
at
they
5.
brought it down, so it,
I didn't get carried away with my figures.
correct,
If at $8 million, you'd be pushing $100,000 a year.
about 115 if I'm not mistaken. On the tax roll, that's never been on the tax roll.
Look at what Selma Skyridge done for the county.
The county has expended $600,000, but for us to recoup that $600,000, the minimum sale price has to be $800,000. Well, Ducktown has $500,000. So the real upset price is $800, not $600, and keep it in mind.
You know, there may be one of these turns in and says, hey, we want to give Polk County $2 million. Plus,
Not any of the
I mean,
corporations I ever run
and
into.
that's not a, you know, we may have somebody that says, hey, we're gonna give 600,000 and that's all we're gonna, it'll be whatever this board wants to decide, and with what
And a lot
John
of
and
it,
the board
you
set
know,
aside.
with 600,000 and then a plan that they might lay out that bolsters that. You know, like you say, paying the people that's owed and promising this or that.
Figuring in the property tax
Right.
collection for next couple of years.
So, you know, that's,
So is the county gonna offer a tax break to whoever buys that?
Don't think we can.
Believe me.
it would, you
I mean, to
know,
offset the, I mean, that's what you were trying to say right there.
well, no, really what I was trying to say was, let me think what I was trying to say. If what I was really referring to was the difference on the bids. Say if you had a $600,000 bid, and then you had a $650 bid, but that $600,000 bid was promising to pay these people back and was offering more